New World Aeternum just dropped some massive Season 10 info. Brand new map, fully revealed, big healer balance changes, and a mysteriously new NPC. Let's dive straight in. First off, let's talk about the map. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's not just big, it looks bigger than Brimstone Sands itself. Plus, you gotta remember they're gonna have the whole underground layer to explore. That's a double to the scale, boys. Also, some double secrets. So I'll break down the rest of this later on in the video, so stay tuned to that as we'll try and figure out what each POI has to offer. Next up, let's break down the healer balance changes they'll be thrown our way. Healers are finally getting a bit of a change, not through numbers, but through Q. They're balancing it in PvP for arenas, OPRs, and capture the flags. Basically, this whole line of text means they're going to be reducing the healer distribution to a minimum of 1 healer per team with a max allowed difference of 1 healer between teams. This is for CTF and OPR, as in arenas they want to match healers one-on-one. I think, personally, they should just remove healers from arenas straight up. They ruin the mode, every fight turns into a never-ending slap fest until the death ring kicks in, and then the healers finally become useless, just like my hairline. Anyways, because the healing reduction guts them, it's not fun. Most players I talk to feel the same way about this. And look, balancing should not be a one-size-fits-all. CTF, you only got 10 players, so healer balance is more critical than OPR. Totally different. With 20 players, you can get away with a lopsided comp way more. AGS needs to balance these mode more directly and not a blanket fits everything. Now let's talk about NPC. We don't know much yet, but I'm hoping it's like Isabella. Remember her? She started as a human and then fell into corruption and then tried to take your soul. Absolute cinema. This NPC looks like she's going to be the good girl, but hopefully she turns out to be that bad girl. And this is just the beginning, as AGS dropped more information for Season 10, so let's jump straight into that next. Alright, let's zoom in on the map itself. There's a few things that instantly stand out. First, let's check these 3 low roads leading down to the bottom of the map here. This is almost definitely a war camp. Every zone has one, and this one, well, it perfectly lines up. Now let's look at the lake wrapping around the edge. It's basically cutting the zone off from everything except Brimstone Sands. So no sneaking in from Ebonscale unless ADS suddenly decides to build us a ferry. Yeah, right, but it says no. Down here, we got a swampy patch that doesn't seem to match the rest of the terrain, probably hiding something unique. And then these huge structures scattered around either major POIs or even the main city. If you compare the size of Brimstone and Ebonscale cities to one of these blocks, this one fits perfectly in scale. That's probably going to be our new hub. I'm betting the DLC city is going to be absolutely magnificent. Now over on the west side, look at this monster complex. The rows that lead right into it. Multiple sections connecting to other POIs. This screams like an elite zone, like Merkguard or Brimstone Sands chest runs. Not a raid, not a dungeon, just a massive castle-style grind spot. Picture storming a fortress, farming vampires, maybe even werewolves. PETA will be getting called on your bum bum. And I'm betting one of the best parts of this whole DLC is some POIs are certainly going to link to the underground catacombs. The delves long hide the entrances to random runes or caves, since they said there's going to be some underground action in Nighthaven DLC. The bottom left bridge, that could even be a dungeon entrance if you cross the bridge. Boom, this is pure speculation, but I love doing this. It's pretty fun to see what we're going to get right and what exactly is going to get thrown in the dumpster out back. You also have this coffin up top. This seems like a perfect catacombs entrance, but who knows, they could even be secret entrances hidden in the caves or in the ground, not even at a POI. We really don't know yet, but it's fun to speculate. And then you have this little part of the zone up top here that seems to be cut off by the Nighthaven part here. It looks like it's not going to be part of the map, but there is a bit of a POI right there under the end. So maybe I'm wrong, and up here is secretly a huge aspect of the zone that they're not willing to reveal us just yet. The map, a sign, let's talk about the text. As I'm about to read you a bedtime story, Twitch always asks me to do this, so it's time to get out your pillow and get your blanket and snuggle in, as we got some text we gotta read. I would love to hear your guys' opinions, not only about the map, but what you guys are most excited for Season 10. It's just now 10 days away, and we'll finally have our hands on some new juicy content. Now, let's drop back and enjoy the storytelling. Nighthaven, long since whispered to exist, reveals itself like a full moon beyond a pale night cloud. I'll tell you the tale of Nighthaven as my Baba once told me every night before I laid my head to sleep. The land is ruled by its domineering king. With an ill-tempered fist, the populace and the peasantry serve the crown, gutted by both the unfair taxation and the horrors of the dimly lit woods which engulf it. Nighthaven currency is not just gold and wheat by the barrel, but nightmares and dreams, the memories that fade to wisps. Charms, totems, and talismans guard the doorframes of every villager. Patience for the revealing chime of a bell, the new day. For there's secrets darker than the imagination that lurk behind the corner of your eye. The traveling trope of the Grand Carnival leads a rebellion stashed away deep recesses of the territory, hidden from the aggression of the ruling houses, and it lowers court House Barloom, House Bathory, and House Carmela. These few oligarchies who command the rabble are just as vicious in their rage as they are in their everyday excess. Servants of the rich castle speak in harsh tones beyond cold steel gates and dark dungeons, willing to look past the atrocities committed in the dead of night for a few more coins or a few more days of sanity, which is most needed at the time. The capital of the realm, the king of its own castle, expands on the horizon as if its great wailing behemoth, impossible, immersed, a man-made mountain that grips the mind in its lavish enormity. A castle keep that swallows the horizon like the whale swallows Jonah. But without the permission of God returning or the promise, once the castle has claimed you in its bowels, you are nothing more than another fixture, another book, a memory lodged on a dusty shelf, to never be remembered again. The king's castle is a fortress that is said to be as wide as it is tall, and burrows just as deep as the tower gazes to the moon. And standing in it all, the great reminder, the clock tower, a looming and ever-present momentum to the truest of secrets. The eternity is not forever. Death will come for us all, even in Aeternum. Baba said there was once a promise of a nation now steeped in mystery, and no one can look further than the abandoned villages, farmyards, and animal pens of the small folks in manor land. Their daily toil and the sweat of their brow feeds this nation, yet the pigs and chickens and cows are not the true livestock. People are getting eaten left and right, boys. I guess we got some human steaks on the menu, and I'm kind of hungry. I wonder if they eat them well done, raw, or sizzled. Alright, back to the story. Deep in the hinterlands, a bounty amasses of perfect pumpkins, golden apple, orchids, left unintended. These wild sprouts give way to things. The forests run reds with persistent fall colors to the north of Highmarch, and these perfectly splendid colors soon fade along the borders. Cursed woods, tumbling sorrel thorns, briars, thick enough to strangle the reindeer that still can call this land their home. Wild and dangerous, the cursed woods are home to apocalyptic beasts that walk on two legs like man, but urged by animals' instinct of true predation. Nighthaven is full of secrets, Baba says. So many secrets hidden beneath the surface like flesh-eating ticks. Hidden under your skin for all its shades, the crust of Nighthaven and the overworld are but fleeting like a ghostly dancer, still stepping on the music unheard. But Baba said, Nighthaven is a carcass, and the worms and maggots below are the real Nighthaven. Endless miles of catacombs, caverns, and caves. The crevices are permanent homes of so many fresh and unsightly horrors. To step into the underworld below Nighthaven is to step into your own doom. If the dead rise, or the madness of the ghost cannot be claimed, you, the eight-legged children of you two, certainly shall. Again, nightmares just reading this. But what saving grace is there to run from these terrors? There's soul-racking phobias. Baba says there is hope. If you cling to the towers that dot the land, rise above the darkness as if built as means to escape the thickness of dread below. Spot a dozen of safe places above the tree line like jagged teeth of a rabid beast. The towers of Nighthaven promise sanctuary if you can decipher the rune magic stones. These places infused with magic of old ways. But they can betray you if not mastered your own mind and memory. Shadows of the past will rob you senses if you cannot withstand the torment of your own mind. Baba also says there was once a group of people who tried and failed to cut and burn back the horrors of Nighthaven. Those guys suck. Their shrills, cries, and religious texts and fervent dedication to the church were their swords, their shields, their sanity. But after maintaining it for so much hatred and rage, they lost the latter and become just as mindless, as corrupt as the terrible things that swore to be eradicated. And now their story is just another red brushstroke on the canvas of Nighthaven. The angels fall, and the priests inflamed with unconscious need to destroy. Like all things, Baba says, all things in Nighthaven are to be feared. Fear is what keeps us alive. Fear is what keeps us to mourn to our own good minds and not lost in the ocean of darkness. The moon, our only loose connection to what is real and what is not. Nighthaven, you cannot trust your own eyes, your own thoughts, but you can trust your own fear. This man has been traumatized. While reading all this, it sounds like you might get a mini game at the end, which will be maybe some enemies that cannot be killed, and you have to run to these safe towers in order to survive the one-shot kill. This has been prevalent in some other games. I think that's a really fun mechanic, like a little mini game. I hope they actually add that, and I hope it's a part of the zone. That'd be really fun and engaging to do. And with that, boys, gonna wrap up the entire patch. If you're new here, like and subscribe. Become a YouTube channel member. Support the channel. The Season 10 Rise will rise to the occasion. You can make me do whatever you want in Twitch chat, or you can give me video ideas if you want a certain build to come out fast when Season 10 hits. All the YouTube channel members and Twitch subscribers, well, they got first pickings. And with that, boys, peace.